you can hear me, I can't hear nobody.
Well, nobody was saying anything.
Okay. Thank you. I thought it was going to happen what happened last time.
No, the West Side's having that problem this time.
Hello, Ernie.
What's up, guys?
I'm about to call you Delphine.
Center East is good. It's the West Side that's got the problem now.
Okay, yeah. Hopefully it won't go mute like last time. All right. Come on. Come on, please. Connected. Okay, good. Back. Email. Yes.
Mr. Vice Chair, you have a quorum. If you want to get started until the chair gets here, then that's fine.
Okay, I'm trying to get something big enough to read. Agenda,
Gotcha.
is this for today? Okay, August 25th, right? Yeah, okay. Wow, I guess I need glasses. All right, ready? Let's do this. Meeting agenda, Tax Abatement Committee, Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. Automatic notice, New Haven. The Tax Abatement Committee will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, August 25th, 2020 at 6 p.m. via video conference. Meeting can be viewed at https://bit.ly /3GBFWCK, oh, whatever, or by phone at 833-548-0282. Webinar ID 970-2851-4910. If password is required, contact rlucas at newhavencity.gov. Item 1. Order concerning real property taxes of Mary Abad on her motor vehicle tax account numbers 50233, 50156, 50160, 50234, 50155, and 50159. 2. Order concerning real property taxes of Lucinda Allen on her motor vehicle tax account numbers 80422, 51488, and 51414. 3. Order abating the deferring collection of real property taxes due from Harold Parrott on his residence for grand list of 2018 and 2019. 4. Order of the New Haven Board of Aldermen regarding Charles Negaros, owner of Atticus Bakery, LLC, DBA Shabazo Bakery of 360 James Street. Request for assistance from New Haven Board of Aldermen concerning account number 268537. 5. Order abating real property taxes due from Deborah Dorsey on her residence grand list of 2019. 6. Order abating real property taxes due from Eunice Johnson on her residence for grand list of 2019. 7. Order abating the real property taxes due from Marga Lihirox, sorry if I mispronounced that one, on her resident grand list of 2019. If you need a disability-related accommodation, please call 3 business days in advance at 946-8122 voice or 946-8582 TTY. That's it, right?
That's it.
Okay. All right, let's begin by the committee members introducing themselves. I mean, I don't know how are we doing this. Should I call them out or should I let them? What do you think?
Go the way you see them on your screen, sir.
Okay. Abby Roth.
Hey, Abby Roth, Ward 7.
Okay. Alder Singh.
Alder Singh, Ward 5.
Now, Haley, you're not Alder, so okay. Alder Ortiz.
Alder Ortiz, Ward 17.
Alder Edwards.
Alder Kim Edwards, Ward 19.
The chair. Alder Crespo.
Alder Jose Crespo, Ward 16. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Okay, and I think Carmen is on the meeting committee too, right?
Yes.
Rodriguez? Carmen.
Hi, Alder Carmen Rodriguez, Ward 6.
And I gotta acknowledge Alder Sal DeCola, who's here too. Sal?
Thank you.
All right. It's all yours, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, and I would like to apologize to the committee for my tardiness. I was actually traveling. I am actually out of state, so I do apologize. And I'm just gonna ask for some clarification. Mr. Vice Chair, did you have an opportunity to read the aldermanic notice?
The one that I sent me.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So without any further ado, let's go ahead and so we have item 1, LM-2019-0760, Mrs. Mary Abad, and I wanted to know if she was on the call or if she's able to participate.
I sent her the information, so she should have called in.
Okay. Do we have anyone in the waiting area, Al, by any chance?
We have a few people there, but I think I'm just gonna bring them in because there's only a few.
Okay.
And when it's their turn, they can speak.
Okay. So then I guess I would ask for Mary Abad,
All right.
if she's available, to state your case, if she's available.
There's no Mary Abad.
Okay, so we will go ahead and skip that one, and I will go ahead and ask for Miss Lucinda Allen, item 2, LM-2020-0096. Miss Allen, if you could state your name and address for the record and state your case.
No Lucinda Allen.
Well, Lucinda Allen, thank you very much. We'll move on to item 3, LM-2020-0223, and this is regarding Harold Parrott. Harold Parrott, if you can state your name and address for the record and your case.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I spoke to Mr. Parrott last Friday. He is still trying to get confirmation from his mortgage company that they won't cause a problem with him getting a tax abatement. So he's asked that it goes till next month.
okay, very good, excellent. Let's move on to item 4, and this is regarding the Charles Negueros, who's owner of the Atticus Bakery LLC, which is doing business as Chabasso Bakery. And I would like to ask the participants for item 4, LM-2020-0274, to please state your name and address for the record, and then state your case, please.
My name is Charles Neguero. I reside at 189 East Rock Road. Also on the line is my son, who can introduce himself and his residence.
Hi, everybody. My name is Charles Neguero also. My address is 306 Front Street, New Haven, 06513.
Thank you. Please state your case for the committee.
This is a request that we be granted the manufacturer's exemption for our 2019 tax bill and be allowed to file our personal property tax declaration retroactively. Our family has operated the Atticus Bakery business in Fairhaven for over 25 years. We employ about between 120 and 140 full-time employees. I am the sole owner of the business. We've applied and received this manufacturer's exemption for 24 consecutive years. This year, because of a change in management in October of 2019, the exemption certificate was not filed. And we became aware of this when we received the bill for the bakery. The tax difference is approximately $73,000. We go from a tax bill of $19,000 to a tax bill of approximately $92,000. It was our error, the error of my company, for not having filed these in a timely basis. Just by brief explanation, for 3 years prior to 2019, for 3 years prior to October 20, there was a family member managing the business. Then we hired outside management. This was done because I was in the process of retiring. That management was extremely ineffective, and my son assumed responsibility in October of 2019. What he found there was a completely disorganized accounting department, and many, many more important matters had been neglected. Reorganization of that department was just getting going when we fell into the pandemic. We had no idea we had not filed this exemption certificate, which, as I said, we did every year for 24 years. We did having received the tax bill with the advice of Don Hayden, we then went and filed the personal property manufacturing declaration. We've managed to keep this business open throughout the entire pandemic. We've had very few, because of my son's leadership, we've had very few people out on illness. We've cut overhead expenses, we've taken other stringent measures, and we've kept people healthy. This is not a profitable time for our business. This would be an incredible unforeseen tax burden and would impair our ability to continue to grow. It is an increase of $73,000. It is a crippling blow to our business. We have been consistent taxpayers in the city of New Haven for many years. In addition to paying taxes every year on the personal property in the bakery, we pay taxes on company-owned vehicles that make deliveries. These are approximately $18,000 a year. We pay property on the real estate, which is separately owned, of approximately $38,000 a year. We have 3 personal residences, 2 children, and myself live in New Haven and pay property taxes. We have 5 personal vehicles registered in the city of New Haven, all of which we pay taxes on. And we operate Atticus Cafe, which is also essentially closed now due to the pandemic, where we pay taxes indirectly. We pay them through our rent to Yale University, but we pay the property taxes on the cafe. So in the interest of helping us continue and be a healthy business in New Haven, please allow us to benefit from this exemption to which we were entitled, but for screwing up and having this late filing. Be happy to answer any questions, either my son or I, if we could.
Thank you, Mr. Nagaro. Is the current management under your son who's on the line right now?
That's correct.
And I would yield to Mr. Charlie if you would like to add anything in addition to what Mr. Nagaro has already provided.
Yeah, sure. He did a really good job of summarizing the last, I guess it's almost been a year now. That kind of went by pretty quickly. But yeah, I rejoined the company in November 1st, officially November 1st of 2019, after 4 years of running the Bookstore Cafe. I'd previously been at the bakery, Ciabasso Bakery, for 10 years before that. So I had the fortune of walking into something, or had the benefit of walking into something that was familiar. Also on my 3rd day, we brought in a new CFO named Judy. Judy and I both walked into something that we realized would take a very long time to put the pieces back together. The last 3 years for Ciabasso have been pretty devastating. Our sales have been down about 20%, 25%. We've kept it roughly the same overhead. We haven't done any mass layoffs. We really believe we can turn this around and bring everything back. We want to do what's right for our community, and make sure that everybody keeps jobs as much as possible. The last 3 months through COVID, and obviously like my dad was saying, the rebuild of this got a little hampered starting in first quarter due to the pandemic. For the last 3 months or so, 1, 2, 3, yeah, we've been losing a few $100,000 a year. Thankfully, we have the benefit, a month. Thankfully, we have the benefit of having a PPP loan, but we have kept all of our staff at Ciabasso on again. This would be incredibly helpful to us.
You're muted. You got muted.
I'm sorry about that. This would be, I can't emphasize enough how incredibly helpful it would be for us to be able to go back and submit for this. We're gonna feel like we hit a home run this year if we break even. So I think that's all I've got to say, and I'm happy to answer any questions, man.
I appreciate that. Before I open up the floor to my colleagues and inquire or provide any feedback, I just wanted to ask how many years, or what was the time frame that the outside management company was in operation? Was it 3 years or was it 1 year? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, 2, and just a clarifying point, it was not an actual outside management company. We brought in a CEO to take over from my father and myself in 2017. And despite our best efforts, it just didn't work out. And last August, we decided it was something we needed to make a change.
Okay, and so I guess my follow-up question would be, given that you guys were already in operation for 24 years and you were able to receive this particular abatement, and given the negligence of this either CAO or other staff was currently in operation, I mean, did they miss the deadline because they just did not file it, or were they in the midst of filing and missed the deadline? Were they just completely unaware that this was the actual process? I mean,
so yeah, that's a great question. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But that's a great question. We should clarify what happened. Yeah, so to our knowledge, it never got filed,
Okay.
and the defining reason for that, and what I hear you asking is like, you guys filed this for 24 years. Why didn't it get filed this time, right? It's not necessarily the CEO's job to file it. So the main department that fell apart unfortunately underneath, the main department that fell apart, it was the accounting and finance department. So the CFO that had been with us for many years, when the CEO came in, that CFO decided to leave, and he was very responsible for holding all those pieces together. He handed off the reins to someone who lasted about 6 to 7 months with us. So the person that the CEO decided to bring in was not capable of sustaining the operation, the finance and accounting operations. Then it was decided to bring in a consultant at a huge expense to try to fix everything. But unfortunately, that consultant was also kind of misdirected and also not really doing what was expected. So it wasn't just a one person that kind of fell apart. Like everything has fallen apart, aside from kind of just like the bread making operation. Was that helpful? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I certainly sympathize with your scenario. And I certainly appreciate the fact that you guys have been pretty much giving the opportunity for folks within the community to work. So certainly can appreciate that, and the explanation starts to make sense. So at this time, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and ask any of my committee members to please indicate if you would like to engage. The first hand that I'm seeing is Alder Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just have a question for clarification. Was this not filed for 2 years?
No, it's just 1 year that wasn't filed.
Just 1 year? Okay. And what is the difference in the tax rate or base you're expected to pay?
The difference in the actual tax is about $73,000.
Okay, so it's a $73,000 difference, and it was only 1 year that it was not filed with the conversion.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you satisfied, Alder Edwards? Very good. And I'd like to recognize my colleague, Vice Chair Santiago.
I don't have a question. I have a more like a comment.
Okay.
We've dealt with things like this before, and we acknowledge human error, and they've been with us for a long time. They live in New Haven. They're everything they own is in New Haven. So just in case I get cut off again, because my computer's been freezing, I think we should grant this. I know this is for discussion. Just in case I get frozen again, my vote is to grant them whatever they need. Good job, guys.
I recognize that particular comment as going in favor. So I will certainly, in case that if you're logged off or kicked out for any reason, I'll make sure to reiterate that. So thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. And then, of course, anybody of my colleagues, any further questions? Alder Roth?
Yeah, actually, the presenters did a really great job presenting because I had a list of questions and all of them were answered, which I appreciate very much. And I guess should I wait for my thoughts until we're in the discussion part? But I appreciate the clear explanation of everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Roth. And I have to say that I share that same exact thought process because as you were talking, I was actually writing down certain things, typing down certain things. And as I continued to hear both Mr. Nagaro and Charlie, I was able to get those questions answered. So I believe that the presentations were thorough, direct, and very informative. So thank you. I'm going to go now to my Alder Singh. Do you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share before we enter into the discussion portion of the?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is either Charles or Mr. Nagaro. How many local employees in the New Haven area do you employ?
I think my son Charles could best answer that question.
Yeah, that's so out of the 120ish to 140ish full-time employees that we have, you know, off the top of my head, it's a very high percentage. It's about, I mean, probably 90 to 95, but I'm kind of guessing. It's easier for me to identify the people who don't live in New Haven, and it's you know, the people who actually commute to work, and that's not very many. It's maybe, I don't know, 10 people, 12 people. We have a lot of people that live in Fairhaven. Most people walk to work from all over New Haven, actually. So it's a large percentage of people.
So you said probably like 75% of local residents employ or more?
90 to 95.
Oh no, I think it's much more. I think it's much more than that. Yeah. Sorry, I should have a real number for you on that. I'm sorry, I don't.
It's probably closer to 90%.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Alder Singh. And I'd like to recognize any other alders. I don't see them with the camera, so
Alder Douglas here.
Yes, Alder Douglas.
If you can hear me.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I had a lot of huge technical difficulties, as Mr. Lucas can vouch for me on that. So I decided, let me see if I can call in. So I'm here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'll just go moving on the vote when we do the vote. So.
Okay, very good. So I do know that I have Alder Ortiz, Alder DeCola, and Alder Rodriguez. But if I don't see if you want to go ahead and state if you have any questions or concerns, because I cannot see your hand or anything like that.
No further questions, Alder Ortiz.
Okay, thank you, Alder Ortiz. Alder DeCola? Alder Rodriguez?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Very good. So we will proceed. So I will go ahead and ask Mr. Nagaro and Charlie, you can certainly remain on the Zoom call, or you can certainly get a phone call from Don by tomorrow. We will go ahead and proceed with having a discussion at the end of this committee meeting, and we'll make a determination whether or not to provide the tax exemption. And you're asking for the exemption of 70, what is it that you qualify for the last 24 years? Is it this 73,000 or?
The difference between the 2018 tax bill and the 2019 tax bill is approximately $73,000.
Okay.
A portion of that is due to, a very small portion is due to the mill rate increase.
Let me go ahead and thank you, Mr. Nagaro. Let me ask Don, do you happen to have those numbers in front of you by any chance? Just so that when we are able to vote, we can actually have a number, a actual number.
No, I don't. I've got to get a hold of the assessor's office and see if they can give me a number.
No worries. So I guess we'll do a blanket kind of motion if it's the committee's desire to provide any particular exemption. Mr. Vice Chair.
The assessor's office is represented.
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, okay. Michael Courtney, thank you very much, sir. Would you happen to have, I'm pretty certain that you've been listening in, would you like to have the information for this particular item and to know what exactly is the dollar amount of this tax exemption?
No, I don't. I would need to review the personal property declaration to look at what the changes would be from this year and last year.
Very good. Thank you for that response. So again, yep. Anyone? Okay, so I guess Mr. Nagaro and Charlie, I guess you guys are all set unless there's anything else you'd like to add. You guys are all set.
No, I would be willing to stay on if it's okay. I don't know if you prefer that we stay or leave.
Certainly. You can certainly wait until the end of the meeting, and then you can listen in, and then of course we'll have either Don also contact you tomorrow, or you can contact Don and he'll tell you what was going to be the determination from this body. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
You're welcome.
Bye.
So I will go ahead and move on to the next item. Item 5, LM-2020-0291. And this is regarding Deborah Dorsey. Mrs. Deborah Dorsey, do we have any Deborah Dorsey on the line?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
the item 5, 6, and 7, these are repeat people for their homes to get tax abatements, and they still meet the requirements of the program.
Okay. So then I will go ahead and skip those 5, 6, and 7 items. LM-2020-0291, item LM-2020-0301, and item LM-2020-0335. And we will go ahead and have a discussion later on in our committee meeting. So at this time, I would like to open up the floor for the public. If they have any inquiries or questions pertaining to these items, I'll go ahead and say, now this is your time to speak. I would like to ask anyone from the audience, from the public, to speak on items 1 through 7, going twice. And going 3 times, I would like to ask anyone from the public if they would like to ask or inquire or comment on items 1 through 7. Saying none, I would entertain a motion.
So move to close.
Second?
Second.
I would like to ask Mr. Vice Chair, would like to close the public portion of this meeting?
Yeah, to close the public portion of the meeting. Yes, sir. I apologize for that.
No worries. I just don't want to close the meeting. And do I get a second from Alder Roth?
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to open up for discussion. I guess nobody from the public is going to talk, so let's go ahead and anyone in favor to close the public portions indicated with an aye.
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 Any abstention? The ayes have it. The public portion has been closed. Committee, what is your desire?
Okay, let me see. We
Oh, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair.
I'm passing. We passing 1 through 3, right? Because they're not here, and number 3 was for next month. I move number 4.
Second?
Item 4.
So the item has been moved in second. Discussion. This is the order of New Haven Board of Alders regarding Charles Negaros, owner of the Atticus Bakery LLC, doing business as Chibasso Bakery in 360 James Street. They are requesting assistance from the New Haven Board of Alders concerning the account number 268537. Third, stated their case. They've stated their arguments, and I'll go ahead and open up the floor for discussion. Mr. Vice Chair, if you want to reiterate.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Alder Douglas.
Yes. So I vote that we approve this. Having dealings with Chibasso and Atticus book bakery bookstore, they've been really good partners in New Haven. You know, I see these guys distributing, giving out free bread to homeless people and to different organizations. And I just strongly say yes. Any help that we can give them, let's do so.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Douglas.
Mr. Chair.
I appreciate it, Alder. And I would like to just say that I concur with that. I certainly concur with everything that Alder Douglas has stated. But I'll give this opportunity for my vice chair to go ahead and provide his info or his input.
Yeah, I also agree with my colleague Alder Douglas. They've been here for a long time. They help everybody. They hire people from New Haven. Mostly a lot of Fairhaven guys work there. They're like for five blocks from where I live. So I know people walk to there. They live here. They pay taxes here. The cars, everything, they live here. So I think we have to help them to to help keep them here and keep it helping our community. I mean, whatever we could do for them, let's do it. I concur with my colleague from Alder Douglas. Anything we could do, and human mistake, anybody does it. And we've done it before. People that haven't filed by mistake, hey, they've been here for a long time. They from New Haven. We gotta help them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I share your sentiment. Anyone else from the committee? Alder Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is primarily to Michael Courtney. Is this, since they had missed the deadline, is there an appeal process to file and continue?
I think, go ahead, Michael.
Yep. No, there isn't. It's you either file it or you don't. The process after that has been after they've missed the filing is to ask the municipal legislative body, which would be the Board of Alders, to grant them the ability to apply for the exemption after the fact.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that we follow our procedure before we came to the committee, you know, to get this.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Alder Singh, and thank you, Michael, for that response. So in essence, we're performing as the appellate board, if you will. So I would like to recognize Alder Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I actually was going to ask what Alder Singh asked, just to see if there was a way to either have it retroactive, you know, with the process, and or if they prorate it. But I see that that answer is no. I do want to thank them for being great community partners, and I do know things happen, as we have all said.
Yep.
So going forward, we won't have this happen again, correct? Everybody got their checks and balances with the new reorganization. So somebody's going to check on who has to check on, who has to check on, who has to check on someone else next year going forward, right?
We would hope so. We would hope that the organization, that the bakery, has now someone competent who's able to meet those deadlines and not willing to drop something as important and vital to the survival of the organization, because a $73,000 increase in that particular, that's a big blow, I have to admit. So certainly now with this particular incident, they're now going to be more aware and certainly conscious of what to file, how to file, and when to file it. So I think, Alder Edwards, you're spot on.
Yes, and I just want to make sure, you know, because I know they've never come to us like this, and it's not to beat a dead horse, but someone just needs to make sure the checks and balances are back in place and remain in place, because that totally sucks for you guys, because we don't have to pay it. My only issue is I would just like an amount, because I know to make sure we don't have an issue where we're agreeing to something and then there's another process. Well, I think that rate is still too high. So that's my only concern at this point. But thank you for the work you do in our communities and with hiring local people.
Thank you, Alder Edwards. And I will certainly take that into consideration once we make a motion to decide what to do. And if we can just make a general statement that we are able to capture the allowed maximum abatement, so that we do not overpass or underscore whatever that abatement is. So I certainly, to your point. And then, of course, Alder Roth, any comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. And yeah, I want to echo what several of my colleagues said, that I completely agree with granting the abatement. I think this is a company that's been in New Haven for a long time, that does pay a lot of taxes to our city, that this was a human error, that during COVID, while so many small businesses are struggling, this is not the time we want a business to have this flow of money that really they're allowed to get this, if except for a paper not being filed. And they really are such a good Samaritan in this city, as people have said, giving out bread at, I feel like every event I'm at, there is free bread being given to people. And Atticus is in my ward and adds a lot to my ward, I know. And so, yes, so I agree with granting the abatement.
Excellent. Thank you, Alder Roth. And without any further ado, I don't see it. Alder Ortiz, Alder DeCola, Alder Rodriguez are still on the line. If you have any comments.
Alder Ortiz would like to just say I'm in agreement for the abatement. And I do know that they do hire a lot of community members, a few of my friends that work in this company, so I am in agreement.
Thank you, Alder Ortiz. And I think Alder Carmen?
I agree with everyone. They definitely have a large population of New Haven residents that work for them, and they've been in the community forever. So I echo the sentiments of everyone on board with this. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Alder DeCola? Okay.
Thank you for asking me, but I'm not on the committee, so I just want to let you know that thank you for asking, but
Yes,
it's
sir.
not, I can't answer any, ask any questions. I just want to commend the committee for helping this company.
Well, so as the chair of the committee, I recognize you as being part of this committee meeting, and you're certainly welcome to ask questions and certainly make comments as you see fit, Alder. So today you are an equal amongst us. So welcome to the committee.
Well, thank you. I wanted to say this company has done everything what my colleagues, I'm echoing everything what they said. They're a hardworking company. In the 8 years I sat on that committee, we have dealt with errors in bookkeeping, and it's not anybody's at fault. It's they come and they're honest, they tell us the truth, and our job is to help them as much as we can. So I'm in agreement with the whole thing. It's a beautiful thing. This is a great company for New Haven.
Thank you, Alder DeCola. And I agree with what you just stated, that in 25 years, this mistake only happened. I believe you're coming once. This is the first time that I hear it as an alder. So I certainly think that somebody made an error and somebody dropped the ball, but they're now back into action with someone who's willing to step it up and not make it happen again. So without further ado, the item before us, what would you like to do, guys? I mean, what does the committee wish to do for this particular item? Mr. Vice Chair.
I move that we approve the abatement and the go back. Is it retro that it's gonna be for the last year? I mean, and we done it before. I moved to approve the abatement. So since they already filed the paperwork, everything is in order. From now on, this won't happen. So I moved to my motion is to approve it, the abatement.
Second.
There's a motion to the table. It has been seconded. And discussion. I see none. All in favor? Oh, Mr. Singh. Alder Singh.
I'm favor for the abatement with the language saying that going forward with the new management company, that these forms will be filed in a timely manner and we don't have this mistake coming back to before the committee. And I want to thank Abacus for being such a good partner and hiring local employees. So again, I want to thank them, but with that language going forward with the new management that continue as they did in the past to file these documents.
So do you want Alder Singh, just so that I understand you want to add that particular language into the amendment that was just stated by Alder Santiago?
Yes.
So then I would ask Alder Santiago, if he's willing to entertain a friendly amendment?
Yeah. I'm all for it.
So Alder Singh, would you like to make a friendly amendment, sir?
Yes. My amendment is to agree on the abatement that put forward before the committee with the language saying going forward, all documents will be filed in a timely manner going forward.
Do I hear a second on the friendly amendment?
Second.
The friendly amendment has been seconded. So I would like to now ask those in favor of the amendment, or I would like to now ask favor from the committee, from everyone regarding the motion that was set in stone with a friendly amendment. If you're approving, indicate it with an aye.
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 Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The motion has been approved. So the item LM-2020-0274 will have a tax abatement, and with the language that going forward, they're having a timely submittal of their paperwork. Okay, moving on to anything else, committee?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Dodd.
When I write the order, I will work with Mr. Courtney and come up with the exact dollar amount,
Yes,
which will be in the order before the board votes.
I appreciate that. That was certainly something that I wanted to talk to you about. So that was a concern that I had, a concern that Alderman Edwards also had. And we certainly want to be able to approve the appropriate amount. So thank you. Committee, what would you like to do for items that are remaining? Mr. Vice Chair.
I move that we approve 5, 6, and 7.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
The items have been moved and seconded. Discussion. Mr. Vice Chair.
Well, like our staff said, they're coming back, their old request. They still make the requirements. So we should just say, agree with it.
Any further comments? Seeing none, all in favor to approve 5, 6, and 7, say aye.
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 Any nays? The ayes have it. So 5, 6, and 7 approved. And anything further, committee? Alder Roth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just want to make sure, and I probably just misunderstood the process, that when we voted on number 4, we voted on the item as amended. We didn't just vote on the amendment. I just want to make sure we close the loop on that and vote on the entire item.
Would you like to make a motion?
I move that we vote on item 4 to grant the manufacturer the abatement for the manufacturer tax. I'm calling it the manufacturing discount as amended.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item passed. Thank you, Alder Roth. Anything else that the committee would like to do? I noticed that items 2 and 3 were not present. So we're gonna go ahead and move those along with item 3 to next committee, Don. And hopefully they can be present and participate. I believe, Don, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I thought that items 1 and 3 were already in last month's.
Yeah, I was
agenda.
there.
Means that.
1 and 2 were. 1 and 2.
Okay, so would
Number
this
2 requested last month because she was on vacation. That'll be moved to this month. I did speak to both of them. I did give them the information to call in. I will contact them again if you so desire and tell them that they have one last chance next month.
I would appreciate that. For the record, if we can go ahead and contact them either through mail, through email, voicemail, whatever the case may be, just so that they're aware that if they don't come next month, favorably, and they'll have to resubmit the paperwork and talk to you again about the process before they can come before us.
Will do.
Thank you, sir. And then, of course, I believe every item has been covered. The committee, I would like to thank the committee for a phenomenal job for what you're doing. What are the wishes of the committee?
Motion adjourned.
Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
No discussion needed. The motion is to adjourn, indicated with an aye.
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 Ayes have it. Good night,
Stay
guys.
safe,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Stay
Night,
safe.
colleagues.
Be well, be safe.
All right.
Aye, colleagues.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, committee.
All right, guys. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Yes, yes.